So you're preparing for a big long hike, huh? Let me show you how I do it. Yeah. Woo. Come on, man. Well, of course you want to be ready for your next big adventure. In this video, I'm going to show you how I prepare for my big hikes. All right, let's go. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I'm kind of big on mental and physical preparation. Now, I'm not going to go through that in this video because I've done that in other videos about the things I do to prepare mentally and physically for the trail. But that's one aspect that, you know, you don't want to be a couch potato and then a big thru hiker, right? There's got to be something in the middle, something to prepare you for the trail physically and mentally. Because if you don't prepare physically and mentally, you're going to hurt yourself, mostly physically. Yeah. Of course, out here you need some gear, right? You need a backpack and a tent and a sleeping system and water filtration, all those things. So the next thing we should talk about is probably, you know, researching and purchasing the gear that you're going to need. So if you're new to this, I would recommend that you just get out there on the internet and look for advice from people who've done this for a long time. Bring that into the conversation. Bring that into your thought process of what you think you ought to be doing. Also, maybe listen to some friends who've done this before. Now, be careful about this because the advice you're going to get is going to be based on the experiences that that person has had and the hikes that they've done. Now, if you're going on similar hikes than they have, then it might be some good advice. But think about, you know, the type of trail you're going on, the time of year, your age, you know, what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. I wouldn't recommend just diving in, you know, go looking up someone who's, you know, 25 years old and taking their advice when you're my age. Hold on. Because I'm going to give you different advice than what that person would. Because things are different when you get older. And also the person's reason for doing this changes the gear that they get as well. If you're going out here to break records, you're going to have different gear than someone who's going out here to hike, you know, 5-10 miles a day and just enjoying it. Different sets of gear for different purposes and different reasons why you're out here. Also think about the location that you're going to. Like you're going to have different gear in the desert than what you would at alpine level, than what you would maybe in the Northwoods, or maybe on the Appalachian Trail compared to the desert. You know, so think also about the location that you're going to and make sure your gear is matched for that. Or maybe if you've been out here a long time doing this thing, like maybe 10 years like I have, your gear research and preparation is going to be, of course, different because you're going to be looking at more maybe tweaking your gear to fit the exact hike that you're doing. That's the kind of stuff that I do. Like when I hike down in Arizona, I had a different set of gear than what I do when I'm hiking at alpine level over in the Uintas, or in a different set of gear when I was on the North Country Trail. Things are different in those places, so I packed a little bit differently. And so I would consider what kind of tweaks to my gear am I going to make to go on that particular hike. And then something I mentioned in a previous video, number 3, would be do shakedown hikes. And they're kind of like practice runs, right? I wouldn't recommend doing several. Start off slow, maybe do a couple overnighters, then maybe do a couple of multi-day trips. If you have time. I think the more you do shakedowns, the more comfortable you're going to be out here, but also it's going to fine-tune the gear that you take. It's about the experience you're gathering that's going to inform you on the gear choices you make and your preparation for any trip. Shakedowns are also great for checking your physical and mental preparedness. If you've been going to the gym a lot and not getting out on the trail, you will notice that when you get out here and do these shakedown hikes, whether your time at the gym has been effective or not. And when you're doing shakedown hikes, build up to the average day that you're going to be going on whatever trip you're planning. So if you're planning a trip that is maybe going to be an average of 10 miles a day, and it's going to be at a certain elevation with a certain kind of temperatures, maybe rain, thunderstorms in the afternoon or whatever, you're going to want to get out here and you're going to want to experience those things, to test that gear out in those conditions. Have your pack, about the same weight as what you're going to have when you go out on your big hike. So shakedowns, do those. All right, so let's put this all in perspective. I'm on a shakedown hike right now. It's my, I guess, third one of the year. Just trying out a lot of new gear. I wanted to take some time. These are just overnighters, not multiple days. As you might know, if you're listening to some previous videos, I have a lot of alpine hiking this year. And so I wanted to get out early to do some elevation, but it's a little bit too early here in Colorado. It's still in late May, so there's a lot of snow up near the elevation that I'll be going. But what can I do in the meantime? Well, I can go on hikes that are like the same distance. I can get up as high in elevation as I possibly can. I can do the average distance that I'm expecting to do on my hikes this year. I can pack as much weight in my backpack as I'm expecting to carry. So there's all kinds of things that you can do to try to simulate what conditions that you'll be in when you get to your big hike this year. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm doing, and that I have been doing. Testing out gear is another thing. I think you might have saw the video that I've been testing out this air mattress here. Another thing that I want to test out on this trip, because I'll have some sunshine. The last couple of trips, not a lot of sunshine, not a lot of open space. In the alpine area, I'll have a lot of exposure, and so I want to test out my solar panel. This is a 13 watt e-scene that I had put out another video on. So I'm going to give it a real test out here in the field. So tomorrow, I didn't do it today, but tomorrow I'll go and strap it to the back of my pack. I want to burn out some of my battery pack tonight on my phone. I got only 80 or so percent left on my phone, so I'm going to try to charge that up so I can at least watch maybe one little light go away here, and then I can see if I charge it up and see how well it works. So I'll be doing that. My new Dirkston pack. Been trying this out. It feels pretty good so far, I think only a multi-day is going to tell me whether this thing is for real or not. I've been doing overnighters, which is like half of one day and half the next day kind of thing. I've always had a problem with pain in between my two shoulder blades, and that it doesn't matter what pack I'm carrying, it just happens. So I gotta play around a little bit. My new Silverlight shoes, socks that I'm taking with me. I've been wearing these. I really like these socks. They're really durable, and when I wear them with my with my Injinji toe socks, not a problem at all. Super comfortable, and they don't stink. I imagine after a few days they will, but the silver thread in here, I guess, is supposed to be great for that, and so far it's proven itself out. So that's been good. I got some new shoes. I got Kincadia Brooks shoes. So my right foot has a high instep, not as high as my left foot. My left shoe fits like a dream. My right foot, I'm still trying to figure out the lacing on this thing. I've loosened these up on the lower part, I guess. So these were really loose, and I got this tightened on it. I don't know. I'm gonna try some different lacings on here to see. It's getting better. I don't think I have it quite dialed in yet, but I'm really liking the shoes so far. So that's been great. Today I used my umbrella out here, so I wanted to make sure that that was still functioning. It rained, and it wasn't quite hail. It was kind of like slush in big balls falling from the sky. When you get up at elevation, it's a lot of weird stuff. We have what's called grapple, which is not. It's a little bit softer than hail. Hail is more like hard ice. Grapple is a little bit softer. So it was between like a sleet and that grapple. It was just kind of blopping from the sky, coming down pretty hard too. I heard a whack against my umbrella. Super glad I had this. And a lot of people were looking at me on the trail today going, what the? But they were like, hey, that's a good idea. And it really is. I'm going to have another video out soon about rain gear. I talk a lot about umbrellas and all that. So I wanted to try that out to make sure it was good. I brought my rain gear. Had a really nasty rain day today, and everything tested out really good. My Dirkston is made of that Ultra 200, and it was fantastic. This is the message I sent my wife. And this is her answering it. So I was leaving instructions for her to make sure I know that she received this. I always have her answer back, and it's just she writes K, but it's just a location of where I'm at, and I really like this thing. More on this later. Okay, so I think those are the highlights for what I'm checking out on this Shakedown hike. I'm still using one more thing. I'm using my alcohol stove these last few trips, so I'm kind of dialing that in. I have a new windshield that I made. I went and bought a couple different kinds of windshields, and they were great, but I just wasn't comfortable. The big one is 9.5 ounces, and this one, the smaller one that I bought, is 5.4 ounces, I think, something like that. And I still wasn't happy with that, so I made an aluminum foil. I find out that's super helpful with an alcohol stove. So I have my little aluminum foil one that I made. It weighs like nothing, like an ounce or something. So I'm happier with that. But I'm trying it out to see if that's gonna work. So the last trip I had on worked great. I'm gonna try it again this time to see if it's gonna start falling apart and whatever. So tonight we are dining on potatoes with lentil and mushrooms. Oh yeah. So yeah, anyway, just a sample of the kinds of things that I do on Shakedown hikes. It's just out here getting comfortable with your gear, and if you're not comfortable with it, bring it back, do an honest debrief with it back at the house when you get back. Say, well, what kind of tweaks am I going to make to this? Is this good or not? If you're not completely satisfied with it, think about alternatives. Because what you don't want to do is be caught out here for 10 days with something that you're really not enjoying. Anyway, that's my 2 cents about Shakedown hikes, about preparing for your next big hike. It just really is a lot of fun just to get out here and just enjoy nature, have a little time in the wilderness, start practicing, I guess, what you're so looking forward to. All right, so you know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. Like this video if it did something for you, positive. Comments down below. What do you do to prepare for your hikes? What do you do on your Shakedown hikes? All right, love to hear from you. I'll see you on the trail.